Boker Tov, Chodesh Tov. Today's daf is Daf Lamed Aleph. We learned for an Ilui Neshama of Yisrael ben Chaim Baruch, whose yard site is tomorrow, 10th yard site. Says the Mishnah on Daf Lamed Aleph from the top of the page. Remember, the key idea here is the overriding concern is Nadarim Holach Achar Lashon B'nei Adam, like we saw yesterday. You go according to what people normally mean. So here the Gemara deals with this. Let's say a person makes a neder, he's not going to have any anah from those who rest on Shabbos. Also Israel, he can't have anah from all Jews. Also Bekutim, and he also can't have anah from the Samaritans because they also rest on Shabbos. Okay, the Gemara is going to say, but they're goyim also who don't go to work. They rest on Shabbos. We'll see about that. Again, the idea is you could say, yeah, but generally Shofsei Shabbos refers to Jews. That's the Lashon B'nei Adam. So the Gemara is going to say why that is the case. Why does it refer to Jews? But again, the overriding concern is what do people mean when they say something? So you say here, let's say he says he's not having enough from people who eat garlic. It was customary for Jews to eat garlic on Friday night, on what they call mitzvah night, because it increases the sperm. That was such a Kabbalah that they had. So from people, he says, I'm not having enough from people who eat garlic on Friday nights. Also, Yisrael, also Kutim, again, both the Jews and the Kutim keep that idea. Let's say he says, I am forbidden to have law, konim, I can't have any anah. He makes a neder that he can't have enough from people who go up to Yerushalayim for the regalim, for those people who are Olo Yerushalayim. Then also Yisrael who mutter b'kutim. Then it's only also Yisrael the kutim go to Har Grizim. So then only the Jews you're only forbidden having out from Jews because only they go up to the base of Mikdash. The Kutim don't, so you can have enough from them. So it depends on the lashon that you use. So the Gemara, my Shabbos is Shabbos. What do you mean by those who rest on Shabbos? Shabbos, those who observe Shabbos. So why talk about the Kutim who observe Shabbos to some degree? I feel of the Chacham also. Many of the Chacham also don't work on Shabbos. Elami mitzuvim ala Shabbos. Maybe you mean from people who are commanded to keep Shabbos. Shabbos doesn't mean just simply rest. Many people rest on Shabbos. Many people don't go to work on Shabbos. It means those who are commanded on Shabbos. If that's the case, if you forbid yourself only from enough from those who go up to Yerushalayim, also be Yisrael mutter b'kutim. You'll have to have enough from kutim. The kutim who are gerim, according to the way Rashi learns, that they are converts, so they also have a mitzvah to keep Shabbos. So why do you say to go up to Yerushalayim? So why do you say that when you freed yourself now enough from Oli Yerushalayim, you're allowed to have enough from Kutim? Kutim are also commanded to go up to Yerushalayim like everybody else. The pilgrimage to Yerushalayim is commanded in the Torah. So all people who are observant of the Torah, whether it's Yisraelim or Gerim like Kutim, they're also mitzvahs. So why do you say Ol Yerushalayim? Even though they don't do it, they go to Har Grizim instead, but they're still mitzvahs. Elo Amar Abayim mitzvah va'osek kind. We're talking about both facets. When you say that you're not having enough from these kinds of people, Shofsei Shabbos or Ochlei Shum or Yerushalayim, we're talking about people who are both commanded and observe. Mitzvah v'osek tani. B'tarti b'abikamais, and the first two where you talk about Shofsei Shabbos and Ochlei Shum. So Yisrael v'kutim mitzvahim v'osen. Both Yisrael and Kutim are commanded, and they do of the Mahuda of the Osen. Some of them keep it. Those who keep Shabbos, because many of them don't work on Shabbos, it's a rest day for them too. So they don't work on Shabbos, but they're not commanded to do so. But Yerushalayim, but we talk about Yerushalayim, Yisrael mitzvahim va'osen, Kutim mitzvahim me'osen. The Yerushalayim, the Jews are commanded and they fulfill it. The Kutim are commanded, they don't fulfill it. So the Kutim are excluded in the Yerushalayim because they don't fulfill it. The Goyim are excluded from the first two cases because they aren't even commanded. And when he says over here, I noted from these things, you mean from people, your general idea, again, what's the Lashon B'nei Adam? You mean people who are commanded to do this, and this is what they do, and they fulfill it as well. I don't want to have any from the sons of Noach. In other words, from all that means all mankind. Still mutter b'Yisrael, you still can't have enough from Yisrael, but also why? Because when we say B'nai Noach, we don't mean Jews. There's more of Yisrael, Minafik, Mechal, Noach. We're still B'nai Noach. Yes, technically we are. We're all descended from Noach, but Kivan the Ikdash Avram, once Avram was sanctified, Iskar Oshmi, we're called by Avram. In other words, nobody calls us B'nai Noach, even though we are B'nai Noach. right? Because once we were sanctified by Avram, we're called the children of Avram. Similarly, Shein Henel L'Zera Avram. First says, I'm not going to have any anah from the seed of Avram. You can't have also be so. You can't have enough from Jews and mutter, but you'll have to have enough from even though they are also many of them are also going to like Shmuel. Shmuel is Chavim, and he's the son. He is the seed of Avram. The pasuk says, "Kibi Yitzchak, Kibi Yitzchak Yikar Chazar." Your children will be called through Yitzchak, not through Yishmael. Esav was also from Yitzchak, as we have in this week's parsha. Be Yitzchak, lo call Yitzchak. Again, the pasuk says, "Kibi Yitzchak." Among Yitzchak, you will be called. Your zera will only be called from those of Yitzchak, not all of Yitzchak, and not Yishmael at all, because you won't be called by Yishmael. You'll be called by Yitzchak, and not all Yitzchak. Some of Yitzchak, only those who descended from Yitzchak's son Yaakov, and not from Esav. So again, it's Lo Shmeir. Even though technically I said Zera Avram or I said Bnei Noach, it doesn't mean that literally. Here we come to more complicated case. Shemi Henemi Yisrael. I can't have enough from all Jews. Okay, I don't have enough. I'm sick of the Jews. I don't have enough from the Jews. So what can you do business with them? So here the Mishnahs are like this. So what you could do is you can overpay if you buy something from a Jew. Let's say you forbade yourself from having enough from Jews, and you didn't get a chance to do a Taras Nadarim yet, and you need to buy stuff for Shabbos. So what you could do is, if you pay more for an item, more than its value, you double the payment or whatever, leaving aside the issue of what is he allowed to charge? But if you overpay, presumably you're not having enough. You're not having enough from them. You're overpaying. And if you're selling something, you sell it. You undersell. You sell for under the amount of money, so you won't be having enough. The other way around, Yisrael and Henanli, they can't have enough from me. You forbid all Jews from having enough from me. So again, lokech b'pachos. What you could do is buy it for. If you buy something from other Jews, buy it for less than their value. So you're not giving them any profit. So they're not having enough from you. And you sell. You do a little price gouging over here and sell them for too much, so they can't have enough from you. They ain't shomalov, but nobody's required to listen to them. I mean, you might say, listen, I can't have enough from you guys. Can't have enough from me. So if you can't have enough from me. I'm only going to sell to you for an overprice. They don't have to buy from him. They can go to someplace else. They don't have to listen to him. Some of it gives an image. I can't have enough from them, and they can't have enough from me. You could have enough from Goyim. So what's the chiddush in this? So the Ram points out the chiddush over here is you might say, when you say, I can't have any enough from Jews, I live in a Jewish country, I can't have enough from them, and they can't have enough from me. That's almost an impossible task. That's like the case the Ron says it's possible that you're comparing it to the case of a man says, I'm not going to sleep for 3 days. I swear I'm not going to sleep for 3 days. It's impossible. And it's already a shvuah shav. In this case, it wasn't a shvuah, it was a netter. But so you're not high for shvuah shav, but it's impossible to fulfill. And therefore your words are nothing. No, you could have enough from Goyim. If you make a netter, you're not going to have enough from the Jews. The Jews can't have enough from you. You could have enough from the Goyim. Amr Shmuel. So Shmuel says, halacha like this. Let's say you buy a vessel from an artisan, a craftsman, whatever, labaka, but to check it out. You say, listen, you're taking it like on consignment. I'm going to check it out. B'nenes biyado, and an accident happened, it broke. You're chayiv. You're chayiv to pay. Why? Because you're like a shoel. What is a shoel? Mean by a different shomer. A shomer chinam is only responsible for pshia, for being negligent. A shomer sacher is chayiv for ganei v'neveda, but he's potter from onsin. But a shoel gets it for free, gets all use. It's called kol hana shalo. So he's responsible for accidents. So if you buy a klit menumen, the assumption over here, what we think maybe is that when you're buying something and you take it on consignment and it breaks, you're chayiv. Why? Because you're like a shoel, because all the hana is yours. Why is all the hana yours? The hana is really for the seller. He's the one selling something. But from Shmuel's case, it's apparent that the person who buys something, he gets the pleasure. In other words, when somebody buys something from somebody else, you have a mocher lokech, who gets the pleasure? Now we're going to come out, the Gemara really knows both, right? If it's the average price, the mocher is happy to sell it, lokech is happy to buy it. We really know that. And the Gemara knew it now too, but the Gemara wants to make a point over here, says the Ran. The Gemara wants to make a point over here about when things are difficult to sell or when they are easily sold. So Shmuel says if you buy something from a uman and you take it on consignment, you're going to check it out, and then you're chayiv to pay. Why are you chayiv to pay? It was an accident, and because all the hana is his. Why is all the hana his? So the Gemara is going to say, we're speaking about where it's an easily sell, but it's an item in high demand. The mocha could sell to anybody. It's very easy to sell. Like all his goods will be sold by the end of the day. It's very easy to sell this. So who gets the pleasure? The pleasure is the lokeach has the pleasure, and therefore it's called nashalo, and therefore he's responsible for accidents. Al miksaver hanas lokechi. So Shmuel, from which Shmuel says, you see that the hana in a sale is the lokeach, not the sellers. If it's the sellers, if it's equal, then it's not all hana shalo. Why should he be chayiv to pay? It's an accident. Maybe he's responsible if it was lost or stolen, but he's not responsible for an accident. But from Shmuel, it sounds like he's like a shoel. So we'll see Shmuel's talking about a case where it's an item in high demand. The mocher has no problem selling it. Like, you're not doing the mocher any favor. I could sell it in 5 seconds. You don't want it, get out, So now what about our Mishnah? So I'm not going to have enough from a Jew. Notice in our Mishnah it said the Girsa was Lo Yisrael, but it's the same idea. It means I'm not going to have enough from the Jews. So I can't have enough from the Jews. So what can I do? I can't sell it for a good price, but I have to sell it for less. I have to sell it for less than its value. But I can't sell it for its equal value, meaning like average for its equal value low. But if the hana is all to lokeach, so I'm not. I feel shav b'shava. Yeah. Why do you say I have to sell it for less? I can even sell it for the regular price, let's say for the average price, for the regular market price, because the hana is lokech, it's not mine. We're saying you can't have enough lokech, but if you sell it for the average price, is considered the hana to lokech. Why can't I sell it even for the regular price? It's not my hana, it's his hana. The answer is Masisim b'zivid Rav Meir Shapiro. Our mission is speaking about when you're selling something which is unsellable. In other words, there's no demand. It's hard to get rid of. You got stock that you can't get rid of. So in a case like that, if you sold it for its value, you would be getting hana because it's hard to sell. So if you sell it for its regular, you're glad to get the price. But if it's so in our mission, we're speaking about it's something which is unsellable, and therefore, if you would get your very good price, that would be getting hana. The answer is it's unsellable. So the only way you're allowed to sell it is for way, way below the market price. So you're not considered having hana. Zim Kain, if that's the case, the Reisha said lokeach biyoser. And if you buy it for more. Why do you have to buy it for more? If it's something which is unsellable, even if you buy it for its regular value, the hana is for the mocher, not for you. So you're not getting hana. Why can't you do that? But look at the sefer. Yisrael and the lead. When I forbid the Jews from having enough for me, so what can I? They can't have enough for me. So what can I do? I could buy it for less from them, so they won't have any. If I'm going to buy it for less than its value, they're going to lose money on me. And I sell it for higher than its value. Paper speaking about something which is unsellable, I feel shav b'shava. Even shav b'shava, I should be able to sell it because it's I feel shav b'shava because they're not getting enough from me. If it's something which is unsellable, I'm happy to sell it even for its value. I can't get rid of it. So they're not having enough from me. I'm the one having enough. So the Gemara says seifa b'zvina charifa. So you have to say the case is different. The seifa is talking about a case where it's in high demand. If it's in high demand, then I can't say if it's in high demand, meaning that everybody wants to buy it, right? It's very easily sellable because it's in high demand. Afilu so ihachi that's afilu seifa b'zvina charifa. So what do you mean seifa charifa? It's in a the Ran is on the base here. Come Reisha Shmina Dina Desmina Dramel Pay. The Seifa Shmina Dina Desmina Charifa Mio Katil and Farkushin and my Reisha Lokech Bioser Bieser El Pruki Kosher Seifa Zina. So the Gemara now says Ihachi Lokech Bavachas and Shava Shava. If it's something where it's easily sellable, so why do I say I have to buy it for less? I feel Shava Shava. Even if I sell it for its regular value, so it's also not giving them any hana. Even if I sell for regular value, because I could. It's easily gotten rid of. Ella Mastisim Bezvidim as a Mishnah speaking about where it's an average sale. In other words, it's they both have a no. Rashi says one has sometimes this one has sometimes that. Ran says they both have a no. When Shmuel says that if you take an item on consignment and it breaks, you have to pay for it. It's even for an onsen like a shoel because on the shalo, he's speaking about a case where it's something which is easily sellable. So the hana there is to the lokeach. Because it's easily sellable. The mocher can say, I can always sell it. It's no pleasure to me. So you're not doing me any favors. It's easily sellable. Well, you said before in the Seifa, if the Seifa was, the Kasha was, if the Seifa of the Mishnah was only speaking about something which is easily sellable, why do you say, even if it's for the regular price, even if it's sold for the regular price, you'd say the same. Lokech gets the pleasure below mocher. So if it's something which he sells, he gets the pleasure. So and therefore so if that's the case, why do you say the lokech has to sell? You buy from lokech you can buy it from him for less than its value if he can't have enough from you. So you have to buy. You can buy from less than its value. Even if you buy from Shava B'Shava, he's not having any anah from you because he could easily sell it to somebody else. So the answer is the Mishnah is speaking about an average sale. Therefore, we say the Mishnah, but in both cases with Reish Seifa, is speaking about an average sale. For an average sale, if I can't have enough from them, that means I have to sell it for less and pay more if I buy it. And the reverse, if they can't have enough from me, we say Shneisrael Nen and Li. So I can only buy it for less, so they can't have enough from me, and I sell it for more. And Shmuel is speaking about something which is easily sellable. So the mocher doesn't have any anah. The lokech has anah because the mocher could sell it to anybody. So lokech is called nashol, and therefore he's like a shol. Tanya Kavazir to Shmuel on the second line on the base. You buy items from a merchant. You buy items from a merchant to send them. You bought some gift for your father-in-law. You want to make a good impression on him. And he tells the merchant, if they accept my gift, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. If it's, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to see if he likes it. If he likes it and he keeps it, I'll pay for the full price. In Lav, if he wants to return it and I'm not buying it, I'll pay you for the pleasure I get. What pleasure do I get? Because now my father-in-law is going to be nice to me. He'll take me into the business or he'll give me some pleasure because he saw that I wanted to give him a gift. He may not like it. He might want to return it, whatever, or get a credit or something, but I'll get that pleasure. All right. So now let's say the item that he bought for his father-in-law got damaged. It was an accident. On the way that he was taking it to the father-in-law, he's chayiv to pay. Why is he chayiv to pay? Because it's called an ashalo. Again, we're speaking about like Shmuel where it's easily sellable. So the seller has no pleasure. It's all the pleasures all to the buyer. The chazara potter, but on the way back, let's say he was returning it. On the way back, he's potter for an ones. He's still the chai for Genei Vaveda, Neishu Kedosa Sacher, because now he's like a shomer sacher. What do we mean by that?
He owes him money.
Because he owes it, because he has to give it back to him. Meaning this: when I borrow an item from you, I borrow your lawnmower, so it's all my honor. You're not getting anything out of it, right? So if an accident happens to it, I have to pay. If I'm returning it to you, I'm like a hired hand, meaning I got a payment by being able to use it in return for giving it back to you, like on the way back, like I'm a shomer sacher. So on the way back, I'm potter from Onsim, but I chayiv on Genei V'Beda. But the point from the first idea is that you see that you're chayiv on the way there. You're chayiv because he's like a shoel because he's getting all the lokech is getting all the pleasure. Again, we're speaking about something which is easily sellable. It's in high demand, and therefore the mocher gets no pleasure. There was a middleman.
Yeah, whether the father-in-law keeps it or not.
Correct. He gets.
So why is it?
Well, who the mocher? The mocher gets no pleasure. Mocher gets no pleasure because he can sell. He get money. No. But that's not getting pleasure because he can sell it in 1 second. That's called. Of course, he gets pleasure.
No, I'm saying the guy who took it is going to pay him money either way, either the full value or the value that I gave my father.
But we're saying the opposite. The lokech is the one getting the value. The guy, the son-in-law. No, you're arguing with the whole thing. Then you're arguing with the whole thing. You're saying that's not considered. No. The mocher doesn't necessarily get pleasure because he gets sell from anybody. No, it's like a guy selling. You go to the bakery and they're selling they don't care because everything will be sold up at the end of the day anyway. He gets no pleasure from this sale. He gets pleasure from being in business. He doesn't get any pleasure from doing business with you because he can sell to the next guy. You don't want to. I don't care. Like they won't give you attention. Can I ask you a question? No. Get out of here.
for me.
He doesn't get
I'll
paid.
pay you something even if.
Right.
He wouldn't have made the deal otherwise.
No, he would have. He would have. No, he would have anyway. He didn't care. He could sell. He could the same terms he can get from anybody. He that's the idea. Since you can get it from anybody, it's he's happy to be in business, but he doesn't really care. He doesn't care about this sale. There was a middleman. The shakal chamar lizmuni took a donkey to sell. He was a middleman. He was like a broker. Give it to me and I'll sell it for you. But always when he wasn't able to sell it, Bahadi Dahadar on the way back when he was returning at Islas Chamra, the donkey there was an accident and he died. The animal died. Chayv Rav Nachman l'shlume, and Rav Nachman made compelled the middleman to pay. Yeah, he took it on consignment, and he was responsible for it, and like a shoel, he took it on. But on the way back, the animal died, and it was via an accident, not the Mesa Machmas or Mesa. It was an accident, and he had to pay. So Nachman said, "You're like a show, you have to pay." I said, "Nachman, what about this case?" Nensa, we just said Nensa Balach on the way there, where he's like a show because all the hana is his. Chayiv, you have to pay. But Chazara on the way back, you're like a shemasacher, so you should be potter from accidents. Chayiv from Gnev and Aveda, be potter from accidents. And this is on the way back. He's returning Amalei. Chazara of Sasira, the middleman, when he's coming back to return it. Halach is still considered. It's always considered halach. It's not like he went to his father-in-law and he's on the way back. Then when the father-in-law doesn't want it, the middleman is always on his way to sell it. If he would find somebody to sell it, I feel above the base, even by the door of his house on his way back. In other words, he's always willing to sell it. There's no way there and way back for him. Wherever he told it to, whoever he'd run into, he'd be willing to sell. So he's always on the way, and therefore he has halacha like a shoel and calling Shalom. He's chayav to pay for onsen. A man says, I don't want to have any anah from arelim, from uncircumcised people. Now, there are many Jews who are uncircumcised, let's say hemophiliacs or whatever the reason, or the women aren't circumcised either, right? So come to Mutar B'El Yisrael, you're allowed to have anah from Arele Yisrael, and you can't have anah even from Goyim who were circumcised. Why? Because again, the lashon of Arel refers to Goyim. We don't mean literally those circumcised and those uncircumcised. Some Goyim, many people are born, or many people are born with already circumcised, right? They're born that way. So we're not talking about literally circumcised, not. Arelim, again, Lashon B'nai Adam is, you go by Lashon B'nai Adam, Arelim refers to Goyim, and Mulam refers to, circumcised refers to Jews. If I say I don't have enough from circumcised people, also you can't have enough from Arel Yisrael. Again, if I say I'm not going to have enough from circumcised people, what about Jews who aren't circumcised? You're still also, because mulam refers, generally the word mulam refers to Jews, Arelim refers to Goyim. And therefore, even circumcised, you say I'm not going to have enough from circumcised people, you could have enough from circumcised Goyim, because again, mulam means Jews. Marla refers to Goyim, Shenemar, Kichala Goyim Arelim. All the Goyim are Arelim, they're uncircumcised. The Jews are Arelim because they rebel against God, so they are uncircumcised in their heart, but not physically. But Omer Napaskes Vaya Plishti Oral Hazeh. This Plishti, who is an Oral, he didn't really know if he's an Oral, maybe he was born circumcised, but still. But Omer, another Pasuk, he said, Omer Pentis. Maybe the daughters of the Plishtim, the Philistine daughters, will be happy. Pental Losna, or they're just B'nos Arelim. So you see, they're all called Arelim. The circumcision, the uncircumcised, is so repulsive. Because the Rishon were Shembai. Goyim Arelim. In other words, that's the way we call the Goyim. A way to shame them is to call them, oh, you're Arelim. Arelim is a bad word. Rabbi Shmuel Omer Gdola Mila. Mila is great because 13 covenants were made on the bris. When it comes to the bris is mentioned 13 times. Rabbi Yosef Gdola Mila Shedoch Shabbos. Mila is great because it's even Docha Shabbos. Hachamura, even though Shabbos is one of the most chomer things, it's a thing that defines the Jews. If the kid's born on a Shabbos with a regular birth, his bris is on a Shabbos. So bris is you're allowed to draw blood, etc., even though you can't do that normally on Shabbos, but Mila is Docha Shabbos, as we all know. Shiur ben Karcham Agdola Mila Moshe Tzaddik Allah. Mila is so great that even Moshe Tzaddik was going to be punished for him, and his punishment wasn't going to be suspended Afilu Malay Shah is the Girsa, even for an hour. In other words, the Malach was going to come because Moshe delayed in this. We'll see. Pasuk says we're going to see it in the Gemara. Moshe delayed giving a bris to his son, and he thought with good reason, but because of his delay, he was almost killed. And that's the importance of Mila. Mila is so great, especially Mila Bismana. Mila Bismana. Always have to be careful to do Mila Bisman. You're not make on that. I told you once the child that I had with a baby was born right before Shkia. And the minhag in Yerushalayim always was, if it's a suffix, you do it the next day, because if you do it too early, it's not a Mila. Better to do it later. But Rav Asher said, no, that was in those days. Today, people are medayik. They have electronic clocks, and they know exactly when Shkia is, and they're very careful about that. So if even it was a minute or two before Shkia, you do it on the previous day, on that day, not the next day. Mila is great because it's even docha nega. You're not allowed to cut off a nega. But let's say a person had a plague, a tsaras on the place of the mila. You still cut it off, even though you're not allowed to cut it off. So mila is great because it's docha that. Rabbi Omer, even though Avram Avinu was Makam called Tarakula, at least as he had it then, and he did all the mitzvahs, but he wasn't called Shalem, he wasn't called complete until he did Mila Shnemer, Hisalach Lefanai, right by the Mila. That's when Hashem gave him the mitzvah of Mila. It says, Hisalach Lefanai, walk before me, and then you will be complete. He was only complete when he did the Mila. Davar Acher, if it wouldn't be for Mila, Hashem wouldn't have created the world. Mila is so great. We take it for granted that Mila is so important. Shnemer Kol Hashem, Im Lo Brisi Yomam B'Lai, if it wouldn't be for my bris, the bris Mila, Yom B'Lai that I made, I wouldn't have engaged the rules, the physics of the world, the laws of the heavens and the earth. I wouldn't have put them down. I wouldn't have engaged them. So the Mila is so important that the whole world is dependent on Mila. All the merits that Moshe received for doing lo amdulo, all the merits, the great things that he did, they didn't stand for him. In other words, they weren't enough. When he apparently became lazy or negligent in the Mila Shneimar, Hashem met him by actually wanted to kill him. Amar Biosi is the Girsa. Can you say that Moshe Rabbeinu, the great tzaddik, our leader, was negligent in performing Mila? But this is the reason why he delayed giving Mila to his son. Amar. If I do Mila now and then we go out on the road back to Egypt, Sakani, it's a danger. Shneimar, because we know they have the story with Shimon and Levi, and when he went after Shechem and Chamor, when they're on the third day after Mila is when they are weakest. So if I do Mila now, I'll put the kid in danger. So let's say, okay, so let's say I do the Mila and I'll wait 3 days till the kid is okay. So Kadosh Baruch Hu Lech Shuv Mitzrayim, go immediately, go back to Mitzrayim. So Moshe had a good reason not to do the Mila because he had to go back to Mitzrayim. Why was Moshe punished? Nation is Asik B'Molo and Chila, because when he got near Egypt, when he got there first, he should have, as soon as he got to the place where he was close enough that it wouldn't be on the road, he instead of doing the Mila right away, he first, made his hotel arrangements, huh?
Check-in.
He did check-in first. He did check-in first. Why did you talk about the Mullen? He was on the road in the Mullen. Why mention the Mullen? Why is that important to mention in the Torah? To tell us that he dealt with that first. Rashi is like, take a look at the Ran on the left side, Shneimar, but at the top of the page, Shneimar, Baderach Malon, Demashma, Debiyat, Shabam, and Adev, Mesasik Malon, like say, they check him. If he was in the hotel, he wasn't yet it was on the road. He was Baderach Malon. So again, how could he have gone on the road? He just said that he wouldn't do the Mila on the road, right? Because the kid will be weak and it'll be a sakana. That Egypt was already right out of town. And small, he didn't have to travel for 3 days on the road. The kid could have become sick. It was just a small way, so that's why. But he still was punished. He was almost punished, almost killed, because he didn't take care of the Mila right away. Until, of course, Sipporah went and took a rock and took care of it. Took a stone, a flint, and took care of it. He didn't want to kill, or Osa Malach didn't want to kill Moshe. Ella Osa Tino. He was going to kill the baby. Shneimar. Ki chasan damim atali. You are a chasan of blood atali. That's what the Rav Shapiro says. Ki chasan damim atali. Seirei mikar chasan. Who's called the chasan? Haviyomer ze'atinah. Right? The Ran says Haviyomer ze'atinah shenasa chasan al yidei bris. Al yidei the bris. He's the chasan. He's the chasan of the day. Right? He becomes the chasan al yidei the bris. He becomes the chasan. Either means the chasan of the bris, or he'll eventually become a real chasan al yidei the bris. So through the bris, he'll enter the Jewish family and become one day capable of being a chasan. But the Pashut means he's the chasan of the bris. So he wanted the chasan. He was the one who that it was supposed to be killed, not Moshe, because Moshe really did no sin over here. But he didn't. He didn't do it right away, and until Tzipora came and did it. All right, tomorrow's daf starts here on Darash Rav Yehuda. That'll be on the podcast. And on Sunday, Mitzvah Hashem will start. The podcast, I think, takes you to the end of the daf, Lamed Beis, but we'll start from the Mishnah, the new parak on Lamed Beis and Beis on Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom, B'chodesh Tov L'kulam.